Welcome to the shop. Oh hey, today we're talking about this guy, your second plane. You've got an apprentice or an aero scout or a trekker, you're having a great time with it and you're really learning to fly. But now you want the next step. You want something that's a little more aerobatic, a little faster, frankly a little cooler looking. And so you're looking for that second plane. The first thing obviously is, what kind of plane do you like? Do you like warbirds? Do you like civilian planes? Do you like stall planes? What is it what is that type of plane that you want because you think it looks cool? I have a lot of planes of all different types and I just love them all. This one appealed to me because it's kind of sporty and it's a real plane that you would see at any Muni airport. So it kind of hit me as kind of a cool plane to have in my hangar. So if this is the plane you like, then the next thing is, can I fly it? Because whatever plane you get, you better be able to fly it. What I mean by that is, do you have the skill set that's going to prevent you from crashing it as soon as you take off? Because it does fly too fast, or it stalls easy, or whatever those things are. This plane, great thing about it is, it will fly slow if you want. It'll fly on 3S and cruise around. It'll fly quite fast on 4S. It'll move. Aerobatics, it'll do whatever you want. Pretty much so. It's not a 3D plane like, a dedicated 3D plane, but it will do those it'll do aerobatics, not scale aerobatics, because flying inverted 5 feet over the runway is probably not very scale. But it'll do a lot of the aerobatics that you want to do, loops, rolls, split S's, Immelmans. It'll do a knife edge spin if you wanted it to. So from a flyability standpoint, really stable, easy to fly plane. The next is really one of the big important thing is, how does it take off and land? It's a tricycle landing gear, which means when you punch that throttle, it's going to go pretty straight down the runway. Unlike this Mustang, where you punch that throttle and it's going to veer left severely and either go into the grass or you're going to yank up and it just looks messy. You got to use a lot of rudder and some techniques on that, whereas this one, a little easier on takeoffs. Landings, I tell you what, this will make you look like a pro on landings. And let's be honest here. When you're at the field and you're flying around, nobody cares. What they care about is when you yell, landing, everyone's going to watch to see the landing. This plane makes you look really good. It just lands well. No flaps, it'll glide in pretty easy. With flaps, better have some power, but that you can raise that nose wheel up and just wheelie this guy in. It's a fantastic plane for landing and looks good, makes you look good. The other part are some of the features. The landing lights, which to me are great. As I'm coming in for approach, I have trees and such in the backdrop, and sometimes planes get washed out and I can't see them on approach. This, I don't have that problem with. The next part, batteries. This takes 3S and 4S, most common batteries out there. I fly it with 2200 4S batteries, I think 50C, and I fly for 5 minutes, can cruise around, do aerobatics, whatever. It just a great plane for that flexibility. You want to throw larger batteries in, it'll take it. It's got pretty light wing load as it is. The next part is just the sturdiness of it. If you get a plane with retracts, whether it's tricycle gear or like the Mustang tail dragger, retracts are a little more fragile. You bang those up on a couple landings and you got to fix them a lot. I have multiple videos on fixing landing gears. So this being a fixed gear, you don't have to worry about any of that. So from a standpoint of just getting into having a plane now with flaps, having tricycle fixed gear, durability galore. Next, what I want to kind of do is go into some of the things and some of the changes I've made to the plane, just minor things in the inside, as well as I've usually I take the wings off, throw it in my truck so I can fit more planes in easily. And the screws that came with it I didn't care for, so I swapped them out for M3s. I'll show that a little bit, and they're slightly longer. Anyway, that's about it. Let me get into under the hood here and show you what I've done. Okay, let me pop the top here, tell you a couple things, very simple as far as what I did. First thing I did was put in some shelf liner rubbery stuff, give a little better grip. There's a lot of different products out there, but this is what I use. Hey, Eflite, if you're listening, figure out a way we can do some better straps. Maybe, I mean, these are cheap straps. It'd be great to just have a strap that actually had a latch on it or a buckle where you can tighten it a little bit better. The other thing, obviously, is over here I put, obviously, the battery and the mark where I like my CG on mine. Seems to work well for me. The other thing that I did, and you saw that I had a Ziploc bag in here because I travel with the wings off. The screws that come with it are small Phillips head, and I travel with the wings off. So I replaced them with slightly longer and better quality M3 screws, and these work fine. The problem I was having was when these wings weren't totally, very tight into the fuselage, it basically forced the screw to straighten and to make everything a little tighter. Maybe there's a fix here that I don't know about, but anyway, by pressing that in. The problem was happening is that the screw, as I was turning it, is stripping like the first threads in that T-nut that holds everything together. So longer screws, and I got a technique to put a little pressure on the wing as I'm screwing it in. Not a big deal. The only other thing that I noticed on mine was after several flights, the screw that basically connects the servo, the push rod to the front, the front landing gear, that screw came loose. No big deal, tightened it up, and we were good to go. That's a Phillips also. I think it'd probably be better for me to swap that out with a hex head, which I can get a little bit better grip on it. Anyway, those are the only changes to the plane. Other than that, the plane has been flawless, works fantastic, flies amazing. Hope it becomes your second plane. If you have any questions, obviously leave a comment. If you like what I'm doing, like the video, click like, subscribe, all the cool stuff. Appreciate it. Have a great day.